Hey everyone, welcome back to the Women's Leaders Podcast, where we share inspiring women leaders' insights and experiences from different across the field. And the whole goal of this podcast is to inspire more women into the leadership role. And today I would love to share about our guest, who is from Singapore and who is a seasoned 360-degree marketeer and business leader with a wealth of experiences in integrated marketing across global brands like Nike, Marks and Spencer, AXA Insurance. And if I talk currently, she is a consultant in fintech, sustainability, and, and consumer industries, advocating for conscious marketing. And also, she's an Amazon bestseller and inspiring speaker. And you know what? I can say so much about her, but I really want her to share about herself. Please welcome Valerie Chow from Singapore. Valerie, please tell about your leadership journey.
Thank you, Himani, for having me on this wonderful leadership podcast. I'm happy to be here and happy to be sharing about my leadership growth journey for the past few years. I have about 15 years in leadership experience. I started out in product marketing in Nike itself, and I grew over the years to do buying as well as brand management, manage diverse brands from retail to consumer brands, to grow them from branding, growth, people, and leading the brands to greater heights also. So after many years in the retail industry, actually I moved on to do in the financial services. It was a 180 degrees change for me. And
I can
it was
understand.
yeah, it was a tough time during a period, but from that experience, it also made me to be a better leader and also a better career pivoter too, which I can share later more about these stories. I think it's very important as a leader that you
Hmm.
transition over time and also transform yourself over times also. And now currently,
Yeah.
I'm adapting all this experience into a consultant role and so sharing my expertise, whether in different kind of business that can be applied from blockchain, yeah, sustainability, ESG, to also fintech industry where I'm from.
So, Valerie, you started with retail initially,
Yes.
and then you moved to the financial. And what was your first time, the thought or maybe the feeling of changing the industry? Like, were you like slightly hesitant, nervous? What was that feeling you have?
During my transition that period, I also was many years in retail already, more than 10 years. And I felt that the overall industry was lacking in the adoption of technology. Other industry was going fast into adopting e-commerce and so on. But retail was still very slow and because it's very, very brick and mortar itself. So we were still in the transition of going to do a bit of e-commerce. At the time, Facebook was just starting out itself
Mhm.
only. So
Yeah.
that's why during that period of time, insurance sector was going through a transformation. So I decided to do a leap of faith and move into a new industry so I can learn more and pick up more of digital marketing and e-commerce skills. And that was a good experience. It was tough, but I think it was good because when COVID hit many years later, I realized that how
Mhm.
important it was. I was and the retail industry was very hard hit during COVID period, and many were also not there yet because they did not embrace digital even much many years after I left retail itself. And then when
Yeah.
I took the leap of faith and I went through it, and it was a hard experience, but it's also a wonderful journey and helped me to be more pick up good skills, hand-on skills itself, relearn and unlearn all my different skills itself, and
Mhm.
also become a more adaptable person and adaptable leader too.
You know what, Valerie? I have worked into the banking industry for many years. And we used to, of course, have different products. And one of the product was also insurance. Is one of the
Yes.
product, yeah. And it's very difficult to imagine the digitization of, or maybe the branding or rebranding of insurance product because it always used to be very traditional way used to sell earlier. But of course, it has changed a lot, and now the way the companies are communicating the messages and selling it, of course, is very different. And when you started your leadership journey, there always come different challenges also with it. Yeah. So, what early experiences and personal challenges were there that has really shaped your leadership journey?
True. So when I transition into insurance, I bring my leadership journey of building up teams itself, working with a lot of diverse, different people. Because even in retail, I was managing people older than me, and also working with also the young people under me because retail is a very young team itself. So I think I brought that as well as also the business acumen and also the retail consumer acumen that was lacking in the insurance sector. And that was why I was hired into the insurance sector. And when
Mhm.
I'm going in the insurance sector, you're right. It's very a bit old school and still a
Yeah.
bit behind in times and so on. So that's why they were going through some transformation and they need people who have the direct to consumer experience to engage directly to their consumer because last time they were selling more through agents itself.
Mm.
So I brought that experience with me, and also I brought that retail engagement in being straight directly to the customer to how to engage them better. I think that helps me also to understand uh, how the dynamics of retail working and how we're going to engage directly to the customer to market to them, and also bring that leadership along with me in also imparting to my other colleagues and also my subordinates who were new actually in the industry and coming into the industry too.
What was tough for you? Managing the younger team? Because you were managing the elder, like the bloomers also. What was more tough for you?
I think that time also there was a lot of millennials coming into the market itself, so it
Mm.
was a bit of tough also working with them because some of them were doing interns under me, and also some of my colleagues also were much younger than me during that period of time too. And their working styles and the way they work is very, very different versus me. So at times it take a bit of adjustment, but over time I realized that they are more capable, more digital savvy, and they want to work things fast. So I capitalize on that. And because we also want to create things fast and work fast, so making use of leveraging on their strengths itself, also helping me to create faster campaigns to the market
Mhm.
itself and give them to drive them to create more creative ideas so that they feel that they are part of this
Yeah.
thing of campaign and so on. So engaging them thoroughly and also getting them because there's so much energy and so much ideas that they have, and sometimes they get very bored
Mhm.
fast too. So leveraging on that and creating tasks, things for them to do related to that, so that bring them along in that journey together with me.
Yeah. Singapore, is a place which is about the multicolor. I'm so not sorry. So Singapore is, a place which is a multicultural ethnicity. Yeah.
Correct.
So in your team, you must have handled the people from different countries, ethnicity. How was it
Yes.
for you, being as a leader to handle the people from different countries?
Yeah, when I joined AXA Insurance itself, there was many multicultural because it's a French company, but it's also
Mhm.
based in Singapore, it's local. And I was also working in the transformation team where there were like more than 18 nationalities inside there because I was working with tech team. I was working with students also, not just from Singapore, from other countries itself also. I think it's the mixed match of so many cultural diversity that makes it more interesting. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's the communication skills can be a challenge itself,
Yeah,
but
true.
it's also looking at it also at a quite a funny part where we learn about each other cultural diversity, and we poke fun with each other about that, and we learn as we grow and we realize that even how different we are itself, but as long we have a common goal, we know where we are going to, like creating good campaigns together and driving for the business together, that brings us at the end of the day to come back together. And we work in a very agile environment where we have daily stand-ups to meet up with each other. And because this agile environment and daily stand-up encourage us to be more open to share um, what is our roadblocks ongoing in the daily basis and so on. So this sharing also help. And after each project also there is also the review after that, what works well, what doesn't work well. So that helps to have this open communication ongoing in the projects itself, and also help in terms of iron out any issues and so on, so that when the next project come up, we can learn to be better too.
Valerie, how, you know, have you handled the tough periods? Because we all go through the tough periods, especially
Yeah.
being a leader. There are some time when we have those tough challenges or periods, and it's very difficult to share with the people around.
Mm.
So you must have also, some time has faced that period, or maybe I would say, that particular maybe year. How have you handled that?
I mean, there are some tough times, so especially when going up to COVID during that period when we're all stuck at home, and it's hard to connect with other people and also your team members and so on. And also you have a tough boss also, because the boss is also struggling to go and manage people,
Yeah,
remotely and all that. So I think that also toughen me up during that period of time, because I realized that one of my key strengths was actually have that good, strong relationship with people. And I was lucky that I built that relationship before COVID started. And that helps me also, even when during COVID, I still have like a one-to-one connection with other people, even though we don't meet in the office itself. And I try to say, oh, let's have a hangout of lunch and all that. So building that relationship is very important, and from there that relationship we blooms. And also we do sharing of not just in the work but post work also, so that that there is that track that is ongoing. And during that period also, when I was working with AXA Insurance, we also have this lean in group of male and female leaders, where we meet once a month from different departments and so on. So it's like a group to support each other, where we share in confidential what's happening in our work itself, and also what we can, when we share with each other in an authentic and
mhm,
calm way. So we will able to understand what is happening with each other, and how we can share that things that we are going, and get also feedback, get also advice how to overcome all these issues at works and so on. And then we realize we're not alone.
yeah,
When you share, you realize we're not alone, and then we get help in that matter. And that was a very helpful and also safe environment for us to lean on each other. It's also, so I recommend people to have this kind of support group in your workplace, and create that trust, whether in your department or even outside your department itself, and then build that relationship. It's very important. Yeah. And that helps you. Even until today, when I left the company, I still have a strong relationship with all these past colleagues and so on. Because during tough
that
times,
really
we were
helps also.
supporting each other during the period. Yeah. It's very important as a leader.
Sure, it's very important. And how you're working in different companies. So how your those companies used to support the leaders so that their leadership journey can become slightly smoother.
I think supporting in the leaders itself is also, it's a two-way thing. One thing is you request as a leader from your leaders itself or the company itself, and the other also for you to also give to your own subordinates itself and all that. So I think it's very important. Then post-COVID, I think it's more important to have the empathy inside you as a leader itself, to give to others, because now mental well-being and also your own health is very important. It's not just all work, but it's also whether your family environment also makes a difference, especially if some companies is having hybrid. So then you also continue working in the office as well as home too. So it's a holistic kind of thing that's ongoing. I think, and as a leader also, you need to know your own well-being, your own needs too, because you can't give, you are not your own self-sustained itself. Yeah. So I think being honest to yourself, and also seeking out any support that you need from the company, your own boss, or in other areas of your own life too, so that you are self-sufficient and keep on going. Because leader is not all know all and so on, but
Mhm.
it's a continuous journey that you equip yourself, and you also build out others, and also build yourself in return.
True. And was it easy for you to lead the team during COVID when it has been changed, from the office setup to remote or hybrid?
Actually, thankfully, that's why when I joined the insurance sector and we were working very agile, it was quite an easy transition because we actually were working more digitally. We don't have, we also were working in a bit more remote way because we move around in terms in the office itself. So when during COVID transition back into working from home or working remotely was quite an easy part. I think what was the hard part was not meeting people face to face when you do it
True.
really more daily during that period of time. And I think the conversation that you have at the where you do it over, face to face and do the chit chat over your tea or coffee and all that is mostly gone. And I realized that experience can't be replicated when you're doing digitally and so on. Some things that you realize that colleagues don't tell you until they meet you face to face and they share things and ongoing of that. So all these nuances is very hard to pick when you're working remotely itself and all that. So you have to go all your way to go and get this information or to have one-on-one to with your team itself. I think that's very important to build that. Yeah, even though you know those people and so on. But I think continue doing that is very, very important. I realize that.
Mhm. That's nice. And leadership, we say it is not just about titles. It is about inspiring the people, driving success into the organizations. So, can you share the key leadership skills you have developed into your whole journey and how you have navigated the corporate culture and the workplace dynamics?
So the key leadership things that I have built up over the time, and I think it's very important. I realized much later when I was even higher up of my leadership is the relationship building that you have with other people. I think it's very important. Whether you build a relationship with your own boss, with other different key stakeholders is important. It's not necessary you have friends in every place and so on, but I think building that strong relationship and trust is very important. And also it's important to have that difficult conversation with people also that you do not have great relationship with. I think it's important. So as a leader, to have not just the good things, but also to be able to do the hard things in life is also very important. I think, and then you make hard decision by letting people go or going through some hard part of the work, but coming through it as good as possible or well and successfully is important. These are all part and parcel. At the time, I was like, wow, struggling to go through, I say, the hard part. Before COVID, also, then during the retail, also, we had SARS, business was bad and all that. And then also, there's high turnover of business, people, and all that. So, these are the things that I realized over the time it was hard to make decision then, but
Mhm.
it gave me the experience and exposure to continue and go on. And when I was very young as a leader, also I managed a person who was much older than me, and
All
then the
right.
person has retired now, and I
Mhm.
still have a strong relationship and conversation with her ongoing too. So I think this relationship building is very, very important all the time. And then people remember you. Yeah, people remember
Yeah.
also how you make them feel also during that time and be there with them so and they trust you with them. So I think it's very important. And navigating the work politics or workplace, especially in a big environment, is important. How much you want to play in the politics or not, it's up to you itself. But as long
Yeah.
you can be
Even
able
it
to
affects the well-being
manage.
also. It affects the well-being also for the people.
Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying all politics are good or bad itself, but I think especially in a big company or all that, there's always the politics itself. But through this politics also, I realized that I also built some good relationship with other people,
Mhm.
and also until today they are still my friends and all that because people see all this politics and how it's ongoing. After a while, the people
Mhm.
they'll find their own tribe and all that to get through this and manage through this, and yeah, it's part and
Yeah.
parcel of
It's
the
not
work
easy,
life.
for everyone, I would say, to manage that politics.
Yeah.
And I have seen, like, in my corporate journey, like, when I have faced myself the politics, it was not easy. Like, it used to affect my well-being, being frustrated, irritated, even after going home also, like whole mood was, spoiled. But yeah, I
Yes.
think what really helped me in my journey is like having a good coach, taking a coaching from them. And that has helped me to show the different perspective, very frankly. So that is something has helped in my life.
Oh,
And
that's good.
sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's why also I also do coaching. I also do my own self-coaching myself because when I
Yeah,
coach other people, I learn from that coaching itself. Then also I also reflect back my own coaching. I also coach my
sure.
own self too. Yeah, so it's good to have
Self-reflection
your
is
own
very, very
well-being.
helpful, I would say, for every person.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Valerie, you have had an, I would say impressive, career spanning across various industries. Yeah. And I would say it is not easy even to transition even from within one company, from one department to other, and you have completely changed the industries. So
Yes.
it's, I would say, you have gone to a different field, learned different maybe products, processes, and you have established yourself into those companies. So what has really helped you successfully navigate those career, I would say shifts and thrive into completely different place?
Actually, I learned from this experience when after my first career period is that being very adaptable is important and being open-minded to
Mhm.
learn and be curious and humble yourself to start again, learn from below, and then
It is not
go.
easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. And learn to work with different people. You'll be reporting to people younger than you or older than you. You got to be open in terms of that. And then it's more important now because there's so many intergeneration coming in into the
Yeah.
working force and people are living longer and older. So I think being very open-minded in all this itself. And then now with technology coming in faster and quicker, you got to
Mm.
always be learning and things change so fast. So I think being very nimble, adaptable, is very, very important. And whatever you learn today and be able to change,
Mhm.
things goes to go on. Don't be sticking with what is has worked and so on, but always be changing and so on. And I met a lot of people now going through career transition and going through different stages of their lives and so on, whether young or even older than me and so
Mm.
on. And I think people are also trying to adapt and also be always learning and curious and so on. So I feel that the workforce has changed, people has changed, and that is very, very important to have in yourself to be adaptable to change and always be open and have this growth mindset to be growing up there.
Adaptability is, very easy to say adapt, but I would say it's very difficult, especially when somebody is at a leadership position at one company, going
Mm,
to a different industry, okay, and being around those people who are already at an expert into their own industry,
mm,
and then bringing something of your own, but still, when those, the new industry people looking you as a fresh person, fresher, I think
yes.
it's not easy journey, I would say.
Yes, yeah, it's not easy. So you need to be able to do the switch itself and
Mhm.
also be able to confidence to lead other people or manage people who may be much more stronger to you, have bigger strengths and so on. I think leveraging on other people's strengths and working well with other people. I think a lot of people also look at the leader if they feel that the leader is authentic, they can trust and also be able to be able to be sharing that, oh, if I don't know something, I'll voice out and say I don't know, but I'm leveraging on you to go and help support me to grow better and we are doing it together and so on. I think this kind of true authentic leaders very rare and all that, but that's what it is. You need to show that. Yeah, I'm still in a work in progress in
Mhm.
terms of all this, but I think in the long run, if you show yourself, you trust, you're authentic, people will look up to you.
Well, people, talk a lot of good things about Singapore market. Yeah. So if you can share something really good, as I would say, into the workplace dynamics, which you see that because of that, Singapore is really growing.
I think Singapore, especially the Singapore government, is very promoting of people upskilling because the human capital is the main key thing for Singapore, who's very small and lack of resources itself. So always continue to upskilling people, and also the government is always ahead, pushing ahead, thinking ahead, and all that. So that's how why Singapore has prospered so much and continue in this region of Southeast Asia itself. Okay, all that. Yeah, and also became a finance hub itself. So that's why also I went to the financial, and also it's putting itself to be a sustainability hub, uh, and so it's getting more important in terms of the green plan and all that. So I think it's the leadership itself in Singapore itself, and now we have a change of new leader, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong itself. I think, and this has been
And even the
inculcated.
earlier one has done really a great work, I would say.
Yes, yes, yes. Many of
Yeah.
the past leaders from Lee Kuan Yew onwards and all have done a great job and also continue. So I think that that efficiency and continuing in Singapore has always been there itself and building its capabilities and also attracting the other talents on here
Yeah.
to increasing. As now we actually hit 6 million people, used to be 5 million, and actually the non-resident have grow also over the time. And so that's
And
why
ready to invest in the people, I would say. Ready to invest in the people. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So this is very important. So that's what I like about this country,
Hmm.
so going, and then you also want to be always continue to go and grow and learn itself because there's so
True.
much out there and so much opportunities for you to continue to learn and grow.
True. What's your golden nugget of wisdom for aspiring women leaders or young women who are eager to make their mark onto this leadership journey?
My advice to them, I said, don't put any box on yourself.
Yeah.
Really push yourself out there. I find that sometimes like women as compared to other gender like men, the times to put themselves, box themselves, put their glass
Mm.
ceiling on them. So I would say don't box yourself. Yeah, sometimes things are given to you, you have opportunity, or sometimes they don't have, but you need to go and force your own pathway and push yourself out there. Whether you want to put yourself as a speaker, as a leader, and so on, got to go and ask for it and push yourself out there, and be open for anything of ambiguity, anything that you are maybe not 100% there, but still put yourself out there. Because if not, then you
Mhm.
cannot push yourself to be a leader. Because a leader nowadays is it's a very different ball game compared to years ago. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
be all kinds, adaptable, and so on, and all that. But still pushing out there and getting that experience out there is very, very important. Yeah, and so find role models around you, find
True.
mentors, sponsors, and all that to help you in the journey and help you can learn faster too. That was one thing I was lacking last time when I was going up to leaders because sponsors, mentors were not there in the whole heydays then now, but versus now. And there's so much opportunities and so much people doing mentoring, coaching, and all that. So go and find all these nuggets of people out there that you can learn from and so on. And it's also good as a leader, it's not just learn from what you want, but learn from leaders and people
Mm.
that are very different from you. So you are open to the kind of different perspective too. Very important.
Two things like I want to ask you here is like there is a aspiring woman leader who wants to mark her journey onto the leadership, but even the opportunity has been given to her, but she is still hesitant to take that position. What do you want to say those aspiring women leaders?
I would say do a self-reflection or get somebody to do self-reflection. Why are you not pushing yourself out there? What are the key things that are like hindering you to go out there to aspire to go as a leader? I also know that as women, you have many roles you want to play, right? Sometimes you are the wife, the daughter, the mother, and so on. And sometimes because of all these roles that we are playing, that we tend to let go of the leadership role
Mhm.
that could be out there for us. Yeah. So we can't be everything, we can't be superwoman sometimes, but at least we push ourselves to be what we want and to balance as much as possible. You cannot balance everything. There's some things that you have to give away. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no super balance, right? You cannot be superwoman too. But if you want to be an aspiring leader, you want to be out there and all that, see where you can balance it out as the role of a leader versus the other roles that you want to play itself. Don't give up your
Mhm.
other roles or don't give up your leadership role just because you have other things that you want to do and you think that that will deter you from being a good leader itself. I think in this modern day, you have the right to say what you can balance with, what you need help, and so on, and you can do. So I've seen many women have done it, yeah, and
Mm.
balancing other roles. And women can just be just a leader, but they also be able to balance out our roles themselves and become a mother and
Mhm.
so on. But you are able to do it. But you need to also get your own support and help whenever you can to. Don't give up, your goals because of something else and so on. I mean, come a long way. Like my mother never was a leader. She didn't even go to, university and so on, but she gave a chance and all that. So things have changed for women leaders and aspiring women leaders compared to last time. Yeah.
Yes.
So take the chance on yourself and also look at it from your own view and also view of yourself, your family and other responsibility. So yeah, so give yourself that encouragement, give yourself that step to move out and be a leader yourself.
Mm. And you have made a mark into the, I would say, the marketing field. If you have to give an advice, okay, to a person who is planning to start their career into the field of marketing, what one piece of advice you want to give them?
For somebody who wants to start out a career in marketing, I would say that you have to be a person who wear many hats,
Mhm.
always be learning because the marketing scene has changed so much. Because now you want to do marketing, target a person anywhere. There's so many channels, so many things that you want to need to learn and need to know itself. That sometimes it's you need to be a generalist and you also need to be a specialist in different areas from digital, social commerce, PR, and so on. That's unlimited. Yeah.
True.
So I think always be learning because the industry changes so much itself and you have to be very energetic and on the go to have this inside you if you want to go into the marketing itself. Yeah, because yeah, this will really challenge you very much because you always learn. My days when I started out it was like just newspaper and all the very traditional. It was very slow, and then now it's everything so digital and how you want to balance both the traditional and digital. And now with AI also predicting the future and moving more in the head of the future itself. So the landscape is very dynamic. So you always have to be very open to learning and you have to have the analytical skills, but you still have to be creative. So you have to use both brains, your
You
skill
have to
set,
try
and all
to
that.
learn both.
Yeah, and not many people have that, and so on. Last time it's like you're very creative as a marketer. Then after that, when digital came and very data driven, you have to know the technical and all that. So
And also
yeah,
for the
we have.
complete costing, what you're running also.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you really have to be very strong and very passionate for it.
Yeah, I can understand because yes, creativity is required, but then if you're putting some costing and running maybe any campaigns, then you have to give the whole convincing power also to the seniors also that why do you want to run this? Yeah,
Yes, correct.
yeah, that's true. But it's really great, Valerie, to have so many insights from you. And I hope this can really help the lot of women leaders, aspiring leaders, and young generation. And anything in last, would you like to say something?
I would say that go out, search for your goals,
Mhm.
and just just go out and just do it. Like my Nike days, just do it.
Mhm.
Don't put any box on yourself or any ceiling on yourself. Just have confidence to go out there and do whatever you feel that you have to go and so on. So don't box yourself.
Mhm.
Just go and do it and have the courage to do it. And
Yeah.
you get support or no support, have the courage and to be able to reach out for your goals and stars. I see a lot of women, they tend to hold back, they wait until they're there and so on. Don't wait. Yeah, time will wait for no woman. So go
Yeah.
out there and just do it, put yourself out there. I think the more you do it, the more you get encouraged and more women see you doing it and be
Yeah.
encouraged by that. And then you can build up yourself to be much better itself. Yeah, so I think it's very important as you whether you are a leader, aspiring leader, and so on. Because women is very good because they are multi Hands,
Mhm.
they have
Yeah.
multi-roles, multitasker, so they're very good. They also have empathy to do that. And that's a very good skill, especially for a leader in this age and time. Uh, we have to build the empathy because how the world has changed and so on. And being the world has changed so much that times now to make it more sustainable and continue for the next generation important. So empathic leaders are important right now. And so women, you are very empathic as leaders. So go there and reach out and be your leader for
Yeah.
yourself.
That's true. And I would say, don't wait to be perfectionist
Yes.
because the time and the companies, they will not wait for you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Valerie, for coming here. And I would say if you want to share something, or if you have any questions or want to share any comments, something, you can tag me and Valerie Chow from Singapore. And it's, yeah, lovely to be have you here. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Himani. Thank you so much. Look forward to connect and hear all the good stories. Connect with me on LinkedIn itself. More than happy to chat with you all further too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye bye.